Golden McKin Jungkook touches down in New York for what was supposed to be a triumphant solo promotional tour, alarming footage of him being swarmed at JFK Airport by dozens of Sasaengs fans has gone viral, sparking serious concern over artist safety, international fan conduct, and HYBE's management protocols. But perhaps the biggest surprise is coming from inside the BTS family itself. According to multiple industry insiders, Jin, the oldest BTS member and recently discharged from military service, has directly confronted HYBE's executive team following the incident, expressing intense frustration and concern over the agency's handling of Jungkook's security. The issue began the moment Jungkook landed. What should have been a low-key arrival quickly turned into chaos as unauthorized fans and photographers breached airport security perimeters surrounding the idol within minutes. Clips circulating on social media show Jungkook visibly distressed and physically blocked by crowds while trying to exit the terminal, prompting online outrage from armies around the world. Fans were quick to question how such an incident could have occurred, especially given past warnings from HYBE regarding flight tracking and stalking. The label had previously pledged to crack down on Sasaeng behavior, yet no official statement has been issued regarding this latest breach. Enter Kim Seokjin. Jin, known for his calm demeanor and sharp instincts, reportedly contacted HYBE's executives just hours after the JFK footage began to surface. According to one anonymous staffer who spoke with Dispatch Korea, quote, Jin was furious. He didn't yell, but his tone made it clear he holds the company directly accountable for putting Jungkook in that position, unquote. This rare moment of internal tension between a BTS member and the agency is raising eyebrows in both the fan community and Korean entertainment media. While BTS has always publicly maintained a united front with HYBE, it's no secret that the members have often advocated for more autonomy and protection behind the scenes. Jin has always acted like a real older brother to Jungkook. Another source familiar with the band said, he knows how fragile Jungkook can be under extreme pressure, especially in solo situations. That airport moment was more than just a PR mistake. It was a mental health threat. Indeed, this wouldn't be the first time Jin has stepped in to advocate for his younger members. Longtime fans recall his calm but firm leadership during past controversies, from tour exhaustion to online harassment. But this time, his approach was reportedly more confrontational, suggesting that trust between HYBE and its artists may be entering uncertain territory. As of now, HYBE has not responded to requests for comment regarding Jin's alleged meeting or phone call, nor has the company issued a public apology to Jungkook or the fans concerned about his safety. This silence is only fueling speculation that internal fractures are forming. Fans across platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Weverse are now demanding accountability with hashtags such as Protect Jungkook and HYBE, where are you? While others have turned their focus on Jin, thanking him for being the only one who actually did something. The situation has further complicated Jungkook's US itinerary. While his upcoming collaboration and potential appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon are still moving forward, rumors suggest his team is now reviewing all remaining public events and travel plans. Enhanced security protocols have already been observed around his hotel and rehearsal spaces. Interestingly, Jin himself has remained publicly silent throughout the ordeal. True to his character, he has neither commented on social media nor appeared in public since Jungkook's arrival in the States. Yet fans believe that very silence speaks volumes. He's working behind the scenes, as always, one fan wrote on Weverse. Jin doesn't need cameras to prove he's protecting them. He's always protected Jungkook, with or without the spotlight. This incident also raises larger questions for the industry as a whole. If a global act like BTS can face this level of vulnerability abroad, what measures are truly being taken to shield idols from obsessive fan culture in the digital age? And if older members like Jin must step in personally to secure safety, is the system broken? For now, Jungkook continues his schedule in New York, surrounded by beefed-up security and accompanied, according to several sources, by at least one trusted bodyguard previously hand-selected by Jin himself. It's unclear if Jin plans to join him in person or if this was a one-time intervention, but the message from BTS's eldest Hyung is already clear. When it comes to protecting his brothers, Silence is not an option. And if HYBE won't speak up first, Jin certainly will. Despite HYBE's silence, the ripples of Jin's internal confrontation continued to spread throughout the entertainment world. Several Korean news outlets picked up on the rumored dispute with headlines like, "Jin draws line with HYBE over Jungkook's US Sasaengs incident," and "Kim Seokjin steps into executive role for BTS safety," dominating trending sections. While HYBE remained tight-lipped, the ARMY community was loud and united. A growing number of fans began circulating past clips of Jin from BTS's early years, highlighting his natural leadership and protective instincts. From blocking cameras pointed at Jungkook in vulnerable moments to physically standing between members and invasive fans, Jin's role as the silent guardian was being recontextualized and honored anew. This wasn't just brotherly love anymore. It was a pattern of action in the face of systemic failure. Meanwhile, internal sources claimed that Jin's intervention was more than emotional, it was strategic. He reportedly requested a full security debriefing from HYBE's US partners and even challenged the company's decision to announce Jungkook's US arrival in advance. He believes that not all press is good press when it puts someone's safety at risk, the insider revealed. What made the situation even more sensitive was the fact that Jungkook's visit was tied to a major international collaboration rumored to feature a globally recognized American artist. The stakes were high, not just for his solo career, but for HYBE's global business expansion. And yet, Jin didn't hesitate to disrupt the promotional flow to ensure that Jungkook would not be exploited under the guise of exposure. Back in the US, the aftermath of the airport chaos was evident. Jungkook's schedule was visibly toned down, less fan engagement, no open-air hotel sightings, and minimal media leaks. His stylists and performance crew, some of whom have worked with him since 2022, noted that he seemed more calm, more protected, and more focused after Jin reportedly stepped in. This subtle but significant change in approach made fans wonder, has Jin unofficially taken on a new role within BTS's operations? One not defined by title, but by trust? Public discourse has started to shift in that direction. Discussions on Korean forums and Western fan blogs alike posed the same question. If Jin, as an artist, can do more for Jungkook in one day than a multi-million-dollar agency has done in weeks, what does that say about the structures surrounding the K-pop's most powerful group? HYBE may be the label, but Jin is the shield. And sometimes, the person who holds the shield speaks louder than the person holding the mic, one ARMY wrote in a now viral post on X. Jungkook has yet to directly address the Sasaengs incident or Jin's reported involvement, but fans believe his recent Weverse posts, subtly thankful and introspective, are his way of communicating in the only safe space left. In one now-deleted message, he wrote, "Some people hold you quietly so the world doesn't break you," a line that many took as a nod to Jin's behind-the-scenes role. As Jungkook moves forward with his US promotion, including a heavily anticipated performance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and the impending reveal of his new single, one thing is certain. This is not just a career milestone, but a defining moment in his personal journey. And Jin's presence, seen or unseen, is shaping it in ways fans will never forget. The final piece of the puzzle may lie in HYBE's next move. Will the company address the concerns raised? Will they officially respond to Jin's private but powerful confrontation? Or will they continue to operate behind a wall of polished PR while letting BTS's oldest member do the emotional labor? For now, fans continue to hold their breath. They cheer for Jungkook, celebrate his performances, and wait for any signal from Jin. Not because they expect drama, but because they know that in a world as chaotic and fast-moving as global entertainment, stability is rare. And Jin, in the eyes of millions, is that rare constant. He doesn't just love his members. He watches, he listens, and when it matters most, he moves. Without asking for credit, without needing a spotlight, and without ever letting the people he loves fall.
As the New York leg of Jungkook's promotional journey unfolded, a quiet sense of reassurance followed him. One not orchestrated by HYBE's marketing team, but fostered by the silent presence of Jin's protective influence. For Jungkook, whose every move was now being dissected by fans, media, and stalkers alike, the difference was palpable. The shadow of Sasaeng threats loomed less menacingly now, replaced instead by the comforting knowledge that someone was looking out for him, not out of obligation, but out of love. Behind closed doors, insiders say Jin remained actively involved. Though still officially on break from full promotional duties post-military service, he was in regular communication with members of Jungkook's US team. He asked for security check-ins, oversaw changes to hotel arrangements, and even made personal calls to former staffers from BTS's earlier world tours to help optimize logistics in the States. One staff member described Jin as calm, laser-focused, and unrelenting, noting that it didn't feel like he was interfering. It felt like he was filling a role no one else was prepared to handle. Meanwhile, fans couldn't help but notice how Jungkook's demeanor on stage and on screen had shifted. On The Tonight Show, his performance was brilliant, as expected, but in his post-show interaction backstage, when a journalist casually asked how he was coping with the pressure of solo promotions, Jungkook smiled faintly and said, "I have someone who reminds me I'm not alone, even when it feels that way." The moment didn't mention Jin directly, but the fandom didn't need confirmation. The implication was clear and profoundly moving. Jin too remained off the radar, offering no interviews or Weverse posts during this time. But fans began to revisit a now iconic quote from a 2020 BTS interview, in which Jin said, "When you love someone, you protect them, even if they don't know it." That line resurfaced with new weight, shared across global fandom pages as a reflection of what was happening in real time. Industry analysts have begun speculating on what the shift could mean for HYBE's future. With Jin stepping up as an informal protector, some experts believe HYBE may need to formalize more artist-led oversight in the management process. The notion of a BTS advisory panel, a rotating internal council of members who review major decisions, security plans, and artist well-being policies, is reportedly being discussed behind the scenes, with Jin mentioned as a potential lead. It's not hard to see why. His ability to command respect without confrontation, to lead without fanfare, and to act when others stall positions him uniquely for such a role. He is no longer just BTS's oldest member. In the eyes of many fans, he is becoming the quiet architect of the group's future, both artistically and in terms of safety. As Jungkook wrapped up his New York performances and prepared to head to Los Angeles for the next leg of his schedule, fans noticed something unexpected. The security team traveling with him had been expanded. Not only that, but among them was a familiar figure, one of BTS's longtime road managers, who hadn't been seen publicly since their group activities slowed in 2023. His sudden reappearance was, to fans, yet another silent message. Jin had made a call, and Jungkook was going to be safe. What began as a worrying episode of privacy invasion and fandom overreach has transformed into something deeper. It's become a moment of quiet reckoning, not just for HYBE, but for the industry at large. Because while K-pop is often praised for its precision and polish, it's the unseen emotional labor, like Jin's, that truly holds it together. In this case, it was a single man, freshly returned from military duty, who chose to stand up, not with a press release, but with action, who chose not to let headlines define his brother's experience, who chose to protect, not promote. And as fans continue to rally around Jungkook's success, it's Jin's invisible hand guiding much of it. Not out of duty, not out of pride, but because, simply put, that's what brothers do. And in the heart of BTS, that kind of love still matters more than any spotlight. In Los Angeles, the atmosphere surrounding Jungkook's arrival felt markedly different. Gone was the chaotic surge of camera flashes that met him at the New York airport. Instead, there was an eerie calm, as though something invisible but powerful was holding the chaos at bay. It didn't take long for fans and media alike to credit the shift to the continued influence of Jin, whose invisible presence was now guiding more than just his younger brother's schedule. It was influencing the culture around it. Security was tight, routes were unannounced, decoys were deployed, and for the first time in years, Jungkook moved through a US city with a sense of control that felt almost surreal. a senior producer on one of the variety shows Jungkook was set to film later that week, reportedly described the experience as flawless, no drama, no madness. Off the record, that same producer added, "Someone clearly stepped in to clean up the system. Whoever it was, they know exactly how this game is played." Jin's name was never mentioned officially, but everyone knew. Meanwhile, whispers from within HYBE painted a growing picture of respect, if not quiet anxiety, surrounding Jin's involvement. While some in upper management reportedly bristled at what they perceived as overreach, others, especially those who worked closely with BTS in their formative years, saw it differently. He's not undermining anyone. He's doing what any responsible leader would do when no one else is stepping up fast enough. Outside the walls of HYBE, fans and journalists alike began a slow but steady reframing of Jin's image. No longer just worldwide handsome or the group's playful older brother, Jin was becoming a kind of unofficial guardian of BTS legacy, a role he never asked for, but one he carried with unwavering calm. In a quiet corner of the internet, a fan blog posted a theory that went viral. What if Jin's not just protecting Jungkook, but setting a precedent for how idols should be treated even beyond BTS? The post was shared thousands of times, spawning articles, think pieces, and Twitter threads, all orbiting around one idea. Jin wasn't just reacting emotionally, he was laying a foundation for something bigger. And Jungkook? He moved through it all with a quiet grace that suggested he knew, that he felt the safety net beneath every step. Fans pointed to a short behind-the-scenes video from his latest shoot in LA. In it, Jungkook could be seen smiling at his staff between takes. The caption read simply, "Thank you, Young, always." There was no need for explanation. The bond spoke for itself. Behind the curtain, conversations reportedly continued between Jin and certain high-level figures inside HYBE. There are rumors, unconfirmed but persistent, that Jin was offered a hybrid role, one that would allow him to maintain his artistry while also consulting directly on artist well-being and international protocols. While nothing official has been announced, fans are already rooting for it, calling it the leadership BTS has always deserved.